Kia ora koutou and welcome to Dice Hospital in about 3 minutes with expansions to follow. Review copy and deluxe edition used. It has a solo mode. It's a game for 1 to 4 players, playing time is medium, and it's a moderately complex game. You are running a public hospital focused on good care and outcomes for its patients. From the ambulance to the discharge lounge, you will manage your patients, all while expanding your services and staff of specialists. Can you run the most efficient hospital? The game lasts for 8 rounds, and the winner is the player with the most points at that time. You gain points for successfully treating patients. Dice. Unsurprisingly, Dice Hospital is all about dice. Engine building. Using upgrades that work together well is key. Drafting. Each turn you will draft dice and upgrades. Player turn. Each player starts the game with a hospital, 3 nurse meeples, and 3 random patient dice, set to 3, 4, and 5 value. You also have an administrator's special card. There is 1 more ambulance than the number of players. Roll 3 dice for each ambulance, re-rolling 1s and 6s. Place the dice in order from lowest to highest in the ambulances, with the first player deciding ties. Each player then selects an ambulance and takes it. This determines your player order for the next phase as well. The current first player cannot select the first ambulance. Take the dice and place them in your hospital. You only have 12 spaces, so if your hospital is full, some patients will go to the morgue. This will cost you points. Next, in turn order, each player selects either a room upgrade or a specialist. Each specialist comes with a worker meeple. Place upgraded rooms into your hospital and any specialists beside it. Next is the action phase. Here you can use each room in your hospital once. Each room requires a worker, in most cases 1 meeple. We activate oncology. This lets us add 1 pip to a single yellow die. We choose the 6 yellow. If a 6 is increased, it moves to the discharge lounge. Next we use our specialist. Normally this room lets us increase 1, 3, or 4 by 1 pip, but because we are using the microbiologist, we can repeat that on another green die. Dice that have been healed this turn move down to the bottom of the ward. We then use our allergy ward, which lets us increase the value of 3 of the same numbered green dice. Finally, we use the clinic to boost the green 6, sending it to the discharge lounge. All dice that were not treated this turn are reduced by 1 pip. A die reduced to 0 goes to the morgue. We then lose points for dice in the morgue and gain them for dice in the discharge lounge. Why would you like this game? Dice Hospital is a very straightforward dice drafting and manipulation game that isn't bogged down by a lot of complex rules and overheads. As a result, it's a game that can be easily taught and understood by people. The many ways you can manipulate dice using the rooms and specialists means you will end up feeling quite clever when you chain together a whole lot of moves. And it also allows players to specialize and create their own hospital with its own unique character. And while this may seem like a lot of different powers to keep track of, a lot of them are just the same thing but for different colored dice. It's a solid game that keeps its core gameplay loop very clean and smooth. The best thing about this game is the scoring system, because discharging more patients at the same time is more points. It adds a push your luck element to the game that I really enjoy. However, while there is some interaction between players in the drafting stages, most of what you do is manipulating dice on your own board. If you're looking for a game with high player interaction, this probably won't be a good fit. But wait, there's more! Before we wrap up, let's look at the 4 modules which are included in the deluxe version and the community care expansion. First up is experimental medicine. This is a pretty simple module that adds in new rooms and specialists that focus on more extreme forms of dice manipulation. This one is really easy to add in after 1 play, and it just increases the engine building potential of the game. Next we have the city expansion, which totally removes the previously explained draft mechanics. Instead you build a city in the middle of the board and populate it with dice. Any 2s are given a special bonus token, which can be redeemed later. Each player chooses an entrance to the city and places their ambulance and paramedic there. The paramedic moves into an adjacent area and claims a die, repeating this process 3 times until the ambulance is full. Each player does this in turn order. The draft phase player order is determined by who has the lowest value dice in their ambulance. Another quirk of the system is that any dice left on the board degrade by 1 pip, and if they die, the negative points go to the players with the highest value ambulances. The city expansion adds a whole extra level to the game, but I'm not sure it's needed. It does seem like a lot more work to get to the same result as the core game, each player having 3 dice in their ambulance. Next we have the investments expansion, which adds these special rooms that anyone can access. When you activate one, you draw 2 tokens from the investment pile and choose 1 to keep. These tokens are added to rooms in your hospital. In this example, orthopedics already increases 1 yellow die by 3 pips. The bonus power means you can then target a yellow die valued 1 or 2 and increase it by 2 pips. You must resolve the top power first, so you couldn't use this room to heal a yellow die 5 steps in 1 action. Because investments lead to stronger healing powers in the hospital, the highest value ambulances get an extra die in rounds 5 through 8. There are also extra rooms and specialists that interact with this expansion. Investments does something similar to the experimental medicine expansion, but dials it up a whole step, dramatically increasing the variety of engines you can build. I highly recommend this one to people who want Dice Hospital to be a more complex and deeper engine building game. Finally, we have the maternity expansion. This one adds 4 maternity wards to each player's boards and includes pregnant patients and babies, represented by pink dice. Only one mother can be in any ward, and for each mother patient, roll the baby die and add a small 4 dice to the lower wards. Mothers and babies must be discharged together. The maternity expansion also comes with specialists and rooms, as well as a lot of pink dice for mothers and babies. This is a super solid expansion, and it doesn't add too much complexity, but changes the style of the game. It really exaggerates the push your luck elements of building up for a super strong discharge round. Lots of mums and babies going out together means lots of points. It also comes with its own investment room as well, if you want to play it with the investments expansion. For a great 2-player dice drafting game, try Noctiluca. And if you want something puzzly for groups, try Sagrada, Dice Hospital. Simple core, lots of options. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, subscribe to the channel, and come support us on Patreon.